City, Connecticut, and New Jersey, I have the pleasure of welcoming inside the studios of IrieJam Radio and live on IrieJam 360, Mr. Maxi Praise. Welcome.
What's up? What's up, DJ Rod?
Well, brother.
Oh man, it's awesome. It's good to be here, King. It's good to be here.
Well, it is indeed a pleasure to have you live.
I know I'm in the right room though.
You know you're in the right room? You've been listening. I'm quite sure you heard that song as early as I heard that song.
I know I'm in the right room.
Yeah, you're definitely in the right room, my friend, and we're really pleased and happy to have you.
Thank you.
I know that you're extremely busy, and it's nice to be busy when you've been in the business as long as you have, and I'm not aging you either.
No.
I'm not aging you, I'm just saying that for you to be still in demand, still current,
we have to give thanks.
Still getting airplay with the classics and the new songs is indeed a pleasure, because you have gone through probably 2 or 3 generations.
3.
3, actually like 3.
3 and counted.
Uh-huh.
Truly, I give thanks, and I want to thank everybody who's listening, because at the end of the day, without them, there is no me, there is no you.
Indeed.
So we truly have to give thanks to be able to continue to do something that we truly love. As a kid, I can remember as a kid just sitting there thinking, well, what the hell have I got to offer the world? You know what I'm saying? Not me. What have I got to offer the world? Because we are a part of this world.
Amen.
And to be able to do something that you truly love, because there's a lot of people out there that are not doing things that they love. And to be able to do it for so many generations, it's an honor.
Indeed. Now, how did it start for you, Maxi, and where?
Oh my gosh. I guess it started home. From church to sound system party, blues party, school, playground with friends always asking me to sing and creating a vibe. To, as I said, sound system. The most famous sound system that I was a part of was Saxon International Sound System. You have the greats like Philip Levi, Magad McKean, classic, a song that will never die. Smiley Culture, Tipper Irie, Pato Banton, Peter King. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on, that I was, had the pleasure to share the mic with on sound system. From there, I signed to Virgin Records, and I spent, 17 years at Virgin Records.
Wow. Now, as a young man being signed to a label like Virgin, how was that for you, roaming the streets of your community, your neighborhood?
I heard you say earlier on being in a chocolate factory. I guess that would very much describe how I felt as a kid. I guess I was just lost. I was lost in the sense that I was in something new and I was happy. I was exploring something that, I always wanted to get out, and then obviously I had a massive support from even before I signed to Virgin, from being around the sound system. I was signing autographs and taking pictures and stuff like that way before I even put anything out on plastic, because those days was cassette tape.
Oh, okay.
Cassette tape. And a lot of those tapes was finding themselves in the States, in Jamaica, and around the world. So, and obviously in people's cars, as you were driving up and down on the streets, a lot of the sound system tapes was kicking in the cars. So I guess we created a fan base from back then. So I was very much like a little kid in a chocolate factory.
Now, would you say that the sound system was your learning grounds? Because you mentioned people like, the sound system Saxon, which is a massive sound movement, not just in England.
Yeah.
Because we here in the States couldn't wait for Saxon for a bit more ballroom.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely one of my first learning stages, of course. But as I said earlier on, I got a lot of that groundage from home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from going to church,
Right.
my parents and Pentecostal church, and then from school playgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is as a young man.
Right.
You gather with your group of friends, them, and a lot of the time was the men kind of
Right.
cats, and then they're pushing you forward and you're singing, and then everybody kind of giving you ratings and things like that. I guess a lot of those was my first learning ground. But Saxon sound system and sound system in general was definitely a learning ground, because you'd be in a party or a club, and it wasn't like we wrote anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was the B track of the sound of the music played, and we sung whatever came to mind, or whatever the vibe was at the time.
Right.
Whatever the trend was,
Mm-hmm.
or I can remember being in a party and just standing in the corner with your crew and your brethren them, and somebody would say, "Boy, Priest, my idea, sing this, sing that," and then you just something, a spirit or a vibe or an energy just drove you to the mic, and you took the mic, and from the minute you started to sing something,
Right.
there would be a raid, there would be a support.
Right.
And that support would help you to find something.
But you were a trendsetter. And the reason why I say that, like, singers in Jamaica had singers to emulate and follow. The Dennis Browns, the Alton Ellis. But you're in England.
Yeah,
even,
but
even though they fly.
are my groundation too. Big time. You know what I'm saying? Because when I look back at it, I mean, I grew up with a lot of Dennis Brown and Gregory and Freddie's close friends.
Okay.
Friends that they went to school with, that left Jamaica and
went to England
and set up their situation in England. And I was fortunate enough to grow up with a lot of those cats. You know what I'm saying? So when I was singing around the sound system, and also even before sound system, they were always telling me and also introducing me to Dennis and Gregory and Freddie and all these cats, Errol Dunkley. I mean, the list goes on. Ken Booth. I was very fortunate enough to grow up with a lot of those cats.
So would you also say then, because too often, and even nowadays too, the English artists and singers don't make it across the pond as stars the way you have?
Well,
and I can think of the Peter Honeygales, I can think of, and these are cats that I love, because I was born in Brixton, so I kind of was in that.
You was born in Brixton?
I was born in Dulwich Hospital.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was born in Dulwich Hospital. I went to Tulse Hill.
Oh my gosh.
Sister went to Dick Shepherd's.
You guys are not going to see this, but I forgive my 5, right? I forgive my 5.
So I kind of try to keep the English music alive here. I play a lot of it. I'm hooked up with most of the
So you
producers.
can understand very much what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's your movement. It's how you move,
Right.
and where you move, and,
Okay.
and being in the right room.
That's going to be a hit for Shaggy. If ever a hit I've heard, that's definitely going to be a hit for Shaggy.
Being in the right room, and I mean that.
Right.
Being in the right room amongst the right set of people that will give you the right advice or give you the right support. Sometimes it might not even be the right advice, but there's a strength. There's a foundation. A lot of my friends, like Fat Man, Everton, I call them out because I have to call them out. And these are people that, as I said before, they grew up with the likes of Dennis Brown and Gregory, and the list goes on. John Howard, all these people, because the net in Jamaica also was very close. Very, very tight.
Right.
Net. And I was fortunate, as I said, to grow up in England with a lot of those extensions from that, you know. And then, you know, they knew that I was family to Jacob Miller also. And we have a big Fred Locks also.
Wow.
Family too.
For your family?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fred Locks is Elliot and I am Elliot.
Wow.
And Jakes would probably, as inner circle, they would always say to me, say, boy, I want to know, you know, my name Elliot. they would always make fun and joke, telling me stories about Jakes. Because I never actually met Jakes. I wasn't fortunate enough to meet Jacob Miller. But I was always a big fan. I was a massive fan. And as I said, I had the privilege of growing up with a lot of close friends of his and a lot of the artists. And as I said, being in the right room with the right set of people.
Now, what song would you say really catapulted you? The song that made you not just a household name in Brixton, Housden, Neilsden, Willesden, Tottenham, Ipswich, and Birmingham, and places.
Yeah.
What took it worldwide for you?
Worldwide for me would be Wild World.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was a strange situation. Because, you know, when I got the song from my manager, Erskine Thompson at the time, I hated the song. I just didn't want to sing the song at all. And I'm sure you kind of can relate as well because it's a Cat Stevens song. And, you know, in those days we were kind of really radical.
About doing your own stuff.
Yeah, radical. And also the racism that we were going through as young kids growing up in England, you know.
Skinheads, them look for you.
Yeah, you know, skinhead, greasers, teddy boys, all these different kind of funny cats that just didn't want us around. And you know, growing up in that kind of situation, we were very radical, very black, hard, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, with understanding, because I grew up in a Pentecostal home, so, you know, my thing was always love anyway.
Right.
But just to understand the situation, you know, you bring a song like that to a cat like me with my crew that was like, okay, and I sang that, man. You know, and I sang that.
Wow.
And we was very radical at the time. I didn't want to do it, but have I stopped you there?
No, because I just remember my school days too, and I used to tell people that as much as they had the Black Power movement here in America, we had our Angela Davis posters up in our rooms in England. It was serious like that. You know, we were fighting the American war in England.
and our own war.
And
our own situation. You know, it was, you know, you were. It was a tough situation. You know, it was a very weird situation because you're born in a place and people telling me that you don't belong there, and then the strange thing is that some of our own people would say that we don't come from there either. So, you know, I can remember as a young kid kind of sitting there looking in the sky going, so where do I come from? You know, where do I belong? Where am I grow? Where am I born? In the sea? On a plane? You know, it was just a weird kind of situation, but I guess my religious foundation, groundation, spiritual background is what has carried me from then to now, you know, and I will never leave it. It's very important to me.
So now I want to talk about the new album because Shaggy's been in my ear for the last 6 months about this album. Boy, you need to hear the album, man. Maxi, I'll come lock the place, you know.
My brother.
Yeah,
My
no.
brother.
And let me also say this about Shaggy. Every interview I do with him, he credits you with so many things. One of the things he told me that he learned from you is how to do an interview.
Wow.
He said Maxi took him on the road with him when he was nobody. He opened for you when Europe didn't even know, they thought Shaggy was a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And he said that he watched you do interviews and he learned how to do an interview, a proper interview from you.
Wow, I hope I'm doing a good job. I hope I'm doing a good job. I mean, you know, Robert Livingston,
Yes.
his manager
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
Me and Robert go way back. As I said to you before, the cats and I grew up with, that grew up with Gregory and Freddie and all these people. Robert was one. And I used to help Robert sell records out of the back of a car.
Yeah, he talks about that so much.
You know, he had a small little office, no wider than the door,
Mhm.
and you know, no more than about 6 feet
Wow.
deep. You know, and we used to drive around to all the record shops and deliver vinyl and stuff like that. So when I got my break, and he's also a massive responsibility for my break over here, because when I was with Virgin at the time,
Right.
Ziggy Marley was also signed to Virgin, and there was this thing about oh, we have a reggae artist already signed to Virgin in America, so we can't have 2 or 3 reggae artists on the same label at the same time in the United States. And Robert took it on himself to import a lot of my vinyl
Wow.
to a lot of the
record stores
over here. And that
Also, that's still enough.
oh my gosh. and it was through that, the overwhelming import of the music, through Robert in the United States.
Wow.
That's why Virgin then decided that they had to release my song, which is why we're out here. So, Robert,
And it's right to the-
and it was party there, you know, and you know, that's on my bread.
Yeah.
Bona fide.
Yeah, definitely.
To the
Well,
hill.
he's a gentleman that when I land in Jamaica and I need a ride, he won't send anyone to pick me up.
No.
He will stop in my door
And
and come pick me up on
That's
camera.
right.
That is the type of
That's
friend
right.
that
Well,
Robert
well,
is.
you know, and these are the type of people that we want
Mhm.
in the business, where, you know, we can find loyalty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Well, he came to me. By this time, I was in the States and I was touring and doing world tours and stuff like that. He came to me and he said, "Reese, I have this artist, you know, named Shaggy, and a DJ. I said, boy, I'm gonna come DJ the part them feel with, you know, the part them with Shabbat
Right.
and so forth." And I said, "Robert, anything you say is what it is."
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So he brought him up to Manhattan at the time. I was rehearsing in Manhattan. He brought him up to rehearsal. Came in, grabbed the mic, did his thing, and I was like, "No problem, let's go." And off we went, and we were in Brazil and places like that, touring. And I remember when we was actually in Brazil at the time, Robert called me and said, "You know something, Priest, I got a little bit of a break with the old Carolina song."
Okay.
And you know, and obviously I know you're in the middle of your tour, but we got Top of the Pops. Now, Top of the Pops is like
Bandstand, American Bandstand.
yes,
Soul Train.
Is your main
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
billboard
Yes.
in England. And you know, I remember Shaggy came to me and he also said, you know, boy, Jed, man, said we have to do the tour and whatever, but we get a little break. And I'm like, "Yo, kid, do your thing. You gotta do your thing. Go, do your thing." And he went back to England, and well, I guess the rest is history. He got #1 in England. And yeah.
Billboards and
Yes.
Pepsi and
And you know, I was so happy for him, and also to be a part of that history is something that I will walk and talk with for the rest of my life.
well, he definitely walks and talks about, you know, what you have done for him. Every time I do an interview,
Give thanks.
your name always comes
Big
up.
up yourself, Shaggy.
He never forgets. So,
for.
I've been hounding him for 6 months for one song off of the album. So when I heard that you're shooting a video, I called him Monday and said, no man, big man thing no. Shaggy.
Yeah.
You've been teasing me with the album, send me a one song.
Yeah.
So this is the song that he sent
You
from
got
the
it.
album. Take a listen to here, and I've been premiering this since Monday. Nobody else can play it yet.
It comes right back round
Now,
to love.
I don't know if Shaggy knows the English in me, but he always gives me songs like these to premiere. Because, like, and not that he doesn't respect or rate their other radio personalities, he does, but he just knows I have a soft spot for songs like these. I mean, it's the songs, yeah, it's the songs that I grew up on, it's the songs that I seek, hunt, and find wherever they are across the pond, and still stay connected with Pickens. You know, the whole of the team cross is me and them real close. So when he said this to me, he said, you know, my terms of bird can't fly upon one wing. Him say,
You know something.
him say, when we come back, because he's actually out of town. But let's talk about this single. You always find a way of finding lyrics and songs that connect not just with women, but also with men. Is it a plan when you sit down and put pen to paper? How does it all come about?
I mean, you know, there's times when you just in the studio and you might just have one musician there. There might be a guitar, strumming some chords, and I guess sometimes the chords speaks volumes and speaks words that you just have to use your creativity and your imagination to find the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? And then there's times when you know, you might be just on a plane and you just you know, something come to you or something that you see happening. Lyrics come to me in all different forms and shapes and sizes. You know what I'm saying? But this particular song. The track was created by Bubblers in England, Bubblers Ogilvy. And I remember it was at my house with a good friend of mine, Livingston Brown, who is also a producer that I work very close with. We were at my house, and I remember playing the rhythm track, and he just had his laptop and his microphone there, and we strung it up in one of my kids' bedroom. And as soon as it hit me, it was like the lyrics then just started to flow, and by the end of the evening, the song was what it is.
New York City, don't move, don't touch the dial. Computer's taking over in 2 minutes. We'll be right back, and we'll speak a little bit more about the new album, the journey, and royalty in IrieJam Studios. Maxi, don't move.